Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare Actual. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about what brings men to MGTOW because I feel that it's very instructive. We can talk about all the principles of MGTOW, hypergamy, monkey branching, hitting the wall, a collectivized group think, evolutionary biology. These fundamental aspects of MGTOW are all illustrated right within the individual stories of the men who've come to MGTOW. And these are the very stories that can help the men avoid many of the pitfalls that bring the men to MGTOW. You know, an interesting question. I've got other stuff planned for you too. I'm going to tell you a story of a couple of my girlfriends that essentially brought me to MGTOW, right? Or at least, put me on that path. And I want to bring in a couple, at least a couple guests and, talk about what brought them to MGTOW. And, but before we get into that, first of all, thanks for stopping by, everybody. I really appreciate it. Let me check you guys out in the comments section. Yes, we have Chris Mitchell himself is here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if he is here as, in his role, official role as the Emperor of Canada, but, that's his prerogative, right? So thanks for stopping by, Chris. And, I'm usually listening in on the podcasts, but I can't join in because I don't know if you can tell, but my equipment has been upgraded. The problem is I can't use it when I necessarily want to use it. So, we're very limited here as to what I can do. Before I talk about my girlfriends that brought me to MGTOW, hey, let me post the link for this place. Hey, Mr. Hemi, how's it going? Yeah, here's this. Before we talk about that, I want to talk about the transgender Chinese creator who got banned from Chinese TikTok. Okay, I was watching a video from I believe it's Tribe of Men, right? Red pill, MGTOW, smart guy, intelligent, talks on these subjects. So he put out something, and I think we need to talk about it. So yeah, let me share that with it, on the screen, and we can talk about it. Here it is. Share. Okay. Right? Check out that picture, right? She's kind of cute, right? Like if you just, it's like, wow, cute young girl. Cross-dressing star banned from Chinese TikTok for vulgar content. China's war on effeminate men continues as another gender-bending influencer is removed from Douyin, the Chinese version of TikTok. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Are you guys seeing all of this? Let's see. Okay, good. Got a guest. I'll bring you in a little bit. Yeah, we're seeing this, right? Okay, good deal. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Douyin, the Chinese version of TikTok, has a history of following explicit and implicit rules from China's censors. Wealth-flaunting influencers and binge-eating personalities have previously been removed from the platform. Now, Douyin is following government guidance on eliminating effeminate men from entertainment on China's internet and TV. According to screenshots captured over the last week, the Douyin page of Kang Yaya, a male vlogger who mainly posted videos of him cross-dressing, no longer appear on the platform. Instead, users are now met with a message stating that his account was permanently banned for violating community guidelines on vulgarity. Hey, I've gotten those messages too. While it's unclear what exactly caused the ban, an apology issued by Kang offered some clues. On Sunday, he wrote in Chinese on Weibo that he was sorry for the negative impact of his cross-dressing videos on teenagers and society, adding that he would take a hiatus from social media and stop posting videos of him donning women's clothes and makeup, women's clothing and makeup. I hope everyone will treat this matter rationally, and please don't turn it into a trending topic, Kang wrote. I also hope everyone will enjoy sunshine and have the courage to move forward. So, very interesting, right? Exactly what our government encourages, cross-dressing, transgender, very liberal media. I've spoken on this subject before. The Chinese government bans it. They ban the representation of effeminate men in media and culture. And we encourage it. What does that tell you? What could an intelligent person infer from this information? The Chinese do not allow their children access to this type of media and to indulge in this type of behavior. This is not freedom. This is unrestrained choice, unlimited choice, with the idea of degrading and tearing down structure and values, disguised as freedom. They don't allow it. We do. Their children are generally strong and healthy and intelligent. Our children, no, not so much, right? What can you infer from this? I hope you get the picture. Media, too much of it, the wrong type of media, it's kind of like a poison to us. This is why even TikTok has to send its data to China, and China has access to all that data because they want to know what it is that we in the West, what we watch compulsively. And to do that, is to kind of like give over control of your own mind, to allow the programming of your own mind. Anyway, yeah, I can go real deep into all of this stuff. You guys know that. Sorry about that. So let's see if we could read a little bit more here, talk about what's going on over there in China. Since joining Douyin, Kang has become a popular figure on the app, amassing more than 2.8 million followers and earning an average of 500,000 views per video. Kang belonged to a small but vibrant Douyin community of cross-dressers. Well, apparently it wasn't that small, who present themselves in traditional feminine ways, even if they do not explicitly discuss gender, right? Yeah, because they're probably not allowed to. Should we be allowed to present gender as fluid? Is this doing a disservice, or is this freedom? Continuing on. But unlike some of his peers, such as Majamao and Han Mijan, whose videos often feature them wearing dramatic makeup and parroting female characters in high-pitched voices, Kang came off more like a genuine lover of women's fashion and beauty. In one of his most popular videos, Kang shows before and after clips of himself transitioning from an ordinary-looking boy with short hair into someone dressed in a Snow White costume, channeling feminine energy. Okay, so that's this video. Yeah, like I said, right? Yeah, good job, guy. Right? What do you say? But he did do a good job. Okay, moving on. Well, we don't really care, to be honest with you. It's kind of disgusting. That's the thing. Now, let's turn this off. Like I said, it's kind of disgusting. It has a degenerative effect on the entire system. So even if you don't politically agree, I'm talking about this behavior now happening in the West. Even if you don't agree with it, simply by being exposed to it and knowing that popular culture does in fact, agree with this stuff, then you're partially indoctrinated right there. There's this great value in group wisdom. There can be great wisdom in the group. If 100 farmers are called upon to guess the weight of an ox, they'll pretty much nail it. You know what I mean? Once you average it all out and everything like that. But the minute somebody like the mayor or the business owner who employs all of them puts their guess in, he skews. Everybody then starts guessing closer to that person, and the group knowledge becomes skewed. Okay? This is what's happening with popular media. What we hit the like button for, what we watch and follow, that's what gets promoted even more. So it's this self-affirming lowest common denominator, trend that's going on. And it feeds, a kind of weakness that we have. And I'm not talking about binge watching Game of Thrones, whatever. That's a little different, I'm talking about, well, anyway, the Chinese don't allow it. Okay. So what's going on in the comments section? The problem is that we are censored from criticizing the Skittles community. Well, exactly. Our legitimate concerns that China will have none of, okay, they won't allow this behavior, are represented as hate speech, as misogyny, as heretical. But this is the legitimate argument. This is the legitimate issue in debate. Have we gone too far in indulging our feelings? This idea of freedom. Freedom exists, but there is responsibility. Okay? It's not freedom from responsibility. It's freedom to govern your own life. It's freedom in the pursuit of happiness. It's supposed to be freedom from an overbearing, tyrannical government or culture or institutions. But instead, what we have is this hyper-individualized marketing indulgence of choice. But the actual ideas that we are allowed to have are, in fact, quite limited and quite censored and quite determined through this method of media control, which I want you guys to be aware of. Like I said, even being exposed to it indoctrinates you to it partially. It's like a fish in water. And it isn't right that men should have to go so far and become so isolated. This is the legitimate conversation. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you in the comment section. I appreciate you coming on here and talking about these things. I wanted to tell you about a couple of my girlfriends, right? This is what brought Howard Dare to MGTOW. Here, let me bring in some people here. And let me also post that and pin it. See, we're getting some, oh, wait a minute. I don't want to put myself in timeout. I want to pin my comment. Well, I don't know how to pin my own comment. So check out the comment. Check out the chat, okay? There it is. There's the link. Let me bring in Sacred Y. Sacred Y leaves great comments, very thoughtful, very intelligent, very smart. All of you guys do. And, I appreciate that. And I try to highlight them and pin them and things like that. I'd like to make videos on more of them. So let's see if we can get Sacred Y in here.
How's it going, brother?
Thanks for stopping by, bro. Good to hear you. I was just talking about how I appreciate you, in your comments and, your insight that you're offering to the men.
Oh, dude, the honor is all mine. It's just a privilege to be able to find other men who are of like the same mind, the same philosophy. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, who can see through the bullshit that, you've kind of been suspecting your whole life.
Right, and it's funny because you're talking about like reasons on what brought us to MGTOW. It's kind of funny. you know, it's like most men like us, it's been our whole lives that have kind of led us to MGTOW, you know,
Oh yeah.
because once you
Mm-hmm.
hit that, I call it the MGTOW precipice. It's when you finally the mask
Mm-hmm.
finally comes off, you know, it's a reflection back like on every single part of your life that's like holy cow, indoctrination, weaponization, the usury and disposability, um,
Yeah.
just on every single level. And you realize, you know, it's an animal kingdom and it's very vicious. It's
Mm-hmm.
non-forgiving, non-servient, you know. It's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Departed, but Jack Nicholson in that
Yeah.
movie has a very good line. He says, you know, when we're kids, we're told you can either be cops or criminals. But at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, when you're facing a
Mm-hmm.
loaded gun, what's the difference? You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
men
Yeah.
at a young
And,
age, especially in my generation, is probably like the last of the golden hurrah where, you
yeah.
know, you were able to fight a bully on the playground and stand up for yourself. So at
Yeah.
a young
Exactly.
age,
Because your father
yeah.
taught you how to fight and how to stand up for yourself.
Oh no, because well, my father wasn't there, so you know, had
Okay.
to
Fair
learn
enough.
on my own. You know, hey,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's the animal kingdom, and you know, you're gonna get your shit rocked if you know you're
Mm-hmm.
not at least half a thug, or you know, you got to get some sort of attitude right off the bat. And I think most MGTOW men uh like discover this kind of attitude early on at a young age, especially in
Mm-hmm.
single mother households, you know.
Oh, yeah. So it's true, and they suspect that the game is rigged and something unfair is going on, but they can't put their finger on it. And this is part of what's going on here. There's a certain type of blindness that men have, and women encourage it, and it has to do with the idea of everything is going to be okay. We'll get through this. Don't worry about it. And it's like, yeah, that's fine for a temporary occurring situation. But if this is something that occurs every day, like a psychopathic woman who's trying to destroy you but is pretending to be your mate, then it's not fine and it's not going to be okay. And we're not going to get through this. So it's a tactic that, the women use on the men to actually blind them to the problems that they have to deal with, with the women. And the men actually adopt this mindset and start to act like it's cute. In other words, like the girl starts to cry and pitch a fit in the office place, and instead of being like, "Hey, that's inappropriate behavior here, you're fired," it's like, "Oh, that's kind of cute," and it works on judges too.
Yeah, man, I'd say just about every facet of our society is deeply infected with the gynocentric
Mm-hmm.
androcide. It's
Mm-hmm.
if there's ever a
Yeah.
buck to be made sacrificing male life for female welfare, there, you know, it will be even promoted throughout society. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Well.
amazing how young men, our brains are able to adapt and recognize at a younger age that you know something's not right here. You know, there's something wrong with the picture,
Mm-hmm.
and but now only once you discover kind of like the MGTOW community, you know, you listen to content
Mm-hmm.
creators like Hammerhand or Howard Dare or Undead Chronic. You just
Mm-hmm.
most men they just kind of wander through. They don't understand what it exactly is, you know. I think once we finally discover MGTOW and we finally are able to accept our own freedom and liberation and go
Mhm.
our own way, it's pretty
Mhm.
cool because you get to almost rediscover yourself and your own principles. So you're basically rewriting your own rule book to life. So that's, I think, one thing, you know, leading up to MGTOW that a lot of men have to come face to face with.
Mhm. Absolutely. And this is the main challenge of MGTOW, taking the blue pill man who has allowed himself to be led around by his nose, by his sexual instinct. And this has led him into a life of servitude and slavery on the plantation. And now he has to find his own way. And this is very hard to do. We're in a consumer culture, okay? And this appeals to the female mind, okay? It's a throwaway consumer culture. And all of the rational ideas that the men are putting forward are treated like, misogyny and hate speech and bullshit. So the values are being pulled out from underneath us. And these are the very values that support us. And it's being represented as freedom and equality and egalitarianism. And men, especially young men, have a tendency to turn a blind eye to whatever it is that's going on around them, because we all think that whatever it is that's going on around us, that's normal. This is normal. We only know what we have been taught. So we don't come to this level of introspection and self-examination that you're talking about naturally. This is a very painful process. We actually, it really is like being torn out of the Matrix, in the movie. It really is like that shocking and that awakening for the man to start then, to get back in touch with himself, with his own values. And what is it that brought you to MGTOW? It must have been a series of events. It must have been a girlfriend or something like that, or, just a series of realizations.
Yeah, I would say it's probably all of those. I was, lived with a single mother who, she was a drug addict and gold digger, and it was just kind of seeing that firsthand was kind of
Mm-hmm.
early, very very early red pill. Just uh
Oh, yeah.
yeah, had a kind of a shit dad. With the few years I
Mm-hmm.
did know him, it was like,
Yeah.
well,
How was your
that
mom?
that
How was your mom? What was your mom like? Was there a reason why your dad took off, or did he just, take off?
well, it's funny because only now when I'm 26 do I kind of see the reason
Uh,
on why all the women in my family are divorced, because they're all the same.
right. Right.
It, it's
Of
it's
course.
it's 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 crazy. Of course, they're all, each one of them is like, oh, I'm not like her, but no, they're all the same. And,
Naturally. Yeah. No, it's a
and
female. Look, this is a matriarchy, and it's a female family. Okay, we take the male name, but no, it's a female clan. So they are all very similar, and they all gossip with each other, and they all reinforce each other. And this is part of what we're dealing with as men. Men are individuals. Women are a group and a collective and a hive, and they know how to use the social network. So yeah, all of the women in your family are very similar. Same with mine.
oh yeah, man. And then there was the one, I guess my one relationship was with, I finally met a girl when I was about 19, young blonde
Mm-hmm.
virgin. So,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, I thought I hit the
Mm-hmm.
jackpot, man. And
Yeah. Well, for
to,
a little while there,
yeah, get them pair bonding skills, get,
sure.
because playing the best ability to her and my biology, you know. Well, it turns out that after, I took
Mhm.
her virginity, after a
Yeah.
few months, I decided, well, I'm gonna end up marrying her anyways. So I
Oh
got her
shit.
engaged. got her an engagement ring. I was working 3 jobs,
Right.
2 legitimate, 1 illegitimate,
Right.
just to make ends meet.
Sure.
And her parents
Hmm.
just could
Hmm.
not stand me because I'm talking, they were rich. Like, these people were just rich,
Hmm.
rich. They got that fuck you money,
Oh, oh
new
shit.
sports
Oh shit.
cars,
No.
cheer,
Yeah.
I thought I hit the
Right.
jackpot. And I
Right. No,
thought she
right. No
was,
wonder why she's. Yeah. No wonder why she's a princess.
I know. And here I think she loves me exactly for who I am. Well, boy,
Hmm.
was I an idiot. Well,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say about a year after the engagement ring, she stopped putting in effort into bed, stopped giving me
Hmm.
head, she started laying there like a
Hmm.
starfish, you know, it,
Yeah.
well, it, they're just, the fighting got worse, and, you know,
Yeah. The complaining and the nagging got worse.
yeah. So eventually one day, you know, she went to the bathroom and I looked at her phone, at her Snapchat, and
Hmm.
oh yeah, here's
Hmm.
a
Yeah.
here who's Hunter.
Sorry, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. So it turns out it was actually a guy who was son of her parents' friends who lived down the road in their big rich
Yeah.
neighborhood. Yeah,
Yeah. It's a
so rich
setup.
people, hierarchies, and yeah, she just wanted to hang out with the low class, hillbilly, white trash, bad boy kind of thing, which was
Sure.
weird because
Show her parents.
I was always the nerd growing up in school. So,
Right.
but yeah,
No, I hear you.
and here I just kind of, she was the one
Hmm.
woman I actually opened up to, honestly,
Hmm.
and gave her all my feelings, all that crap, and you know showed emotions. And well, guess
Hmm.
what? In the end, guess what happened?
Ouch.
Someone better looking, more money, 6-pack abs. Let me tell you
Hmm.
something. If someone's got a better future set, they're gonna choose the guy with the better future.
Absolutely. They're marrying and getting together with a man's lifestyle. A man is getting together with a woman's, sexual um, ability, essentially, her sexuality. That's what he's getting together with. And she's getting together with his lifestyle, with his earning capability, with his friends, with his connections. So yeah, that's a hard one, to be involved in. Yeah, I once had a girl who was engaged to a very rich guy, and I was the low life hillbilly type that she decided to fool around with before she got married. So I've been on both ends of that one too.
Yeah, man. It's ironic because it, it's like your whole life you get red pilled, and then there's one little blue pill hope, and the little
Hmm.
perfect little,
Hmm.
you know princess virgin.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
it's an illusion, man. It's an illusion. you know
Of course, it's an
not not
illusion.
not,
Yeah,
not
Charlie
say,
Charlie Brown never gets. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, you gotta dot your t's, cross your i's, be a really good controlling asshole in order to, like, lock down, you know, a, a quote virtuous
Yeah.
woman, a nice young
Oh no,
virgin.
no, 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 no. You've got that all backwards. You really do. The ones you're trying to lock down in that manner are hypergamous, gold digging, alien monster bitches from hell. They're demons, and they are possessed by culture. So no, the virtuous woman, the heroine, is something very different. You know what I mean? She's very rare. Like it's like, one in a generation or something. Um, yeah, yeah, it's an illusion. Charlie Brown never gets together with a little red-haired girl. Okay, there's no Charlie Brown sequence where he and her go out on a date and get together. It never happens. He gets to hang out with Peppermint Patty.
Right? Here's one
Yeah.
thing that
Yeah.
one of my biggest pet peeves, and I think this just kind of comes with kind of being a MGTOW monk for some years now, and it's usually when my sister says, "Well, nice guys, they just finish last." It's like oldest saying in the book, And I was like,
Hmm.
I just turned to her as she's doing the same thing our mother did, just she's repeating the cycles, but let
Yep.
her live her life. But I just turned to her and I said, you know, I'm not gonna be some guy who's in his 30s who wipes up Chad and Tyrone's leftovers. Like who the fuck do you think
Ooh.
I am? Like it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't know what Chads you've been fucking with, but no, it's no, no. If I'm gonna pass along my seed, I'm gonna have some damn standards, you know.
Yeah. And that's that's what's being taken away from men, even the ability to have standards of their own, to have boundaries, to have standards where they hold other people to these standards so that they can make a life of meaning and purpose, of value. And we're mocked for it, we're belittled for it because it's a consumer culture. You know what I mean? It's really messed up. And yeah, that Pretty Little Princess, you know what I mean? Yeah, any young man would consider himself very lucky and would go down that road. And of course, the danger is that, she's just playing a game, and she is, and she's got a lot more options. And even if you had done everything right and you had everything right, I mean, you were lucky to get out of it as soon as you did. That's all. That's really what I would say.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more. It was definitely eye opening. Um, to see how you know you you don't want to believe it. That they're all liars. They're all crocodile tears. It's all a big facade. You really
Mm-hmm.
don't. And that's your
No.
biology. But man, I tell you,
Yes.
holy shit, does it just red pill the shit out of you when it's just like, oh yeah, I love you. Oh yes, I love you for exactly who you are. Open up to me, cry, blah blah blah. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
All this stuff, and
Yeah.
then guess what? In comes
Yeah.
Hunter.
Of course. And all your
Yep,
secrets, you know what I mean, or gossip that you can
yep,
share.
yep.
Yeah, and the men do have that blindness. They want to believe in that one little blue pill dream. So I had Eric Zombro here, and I was going to bring him in, but I just kept talking, and my bad. So anybody want to come in, please just come right in, and I'll get you in here, and we can hear your story too. So one of the girlfriends that I was with, she was a nymphomaniac, incidentally. And you're probably thinking that's a good thing. It's not. Okay, it's a nice place to visit, but you don't want to live there because it's crazy, compulsive behavior. So I had played my game of divide and conquer with her. I was like on the phone with her, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't like my roommate." And I was like, "Yeah, your roommate is evil. You need to get yourself out of that situation. I can help you. You can move in with me." Right. So I pulled that one. And what happened after that? Wait a minute, we've got Matthew here. He's in the car. I'm going to see if we can bring him in because, he's going live. Hey, Matthew, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by, bro. We've got you live. So, yeah, there she was. I was living with her, and she's a complete nymphomaniac. And it was good for a while. You know what I mean? It was good for the first few weeks. And again, I thought I had hit the jackpot. But then I found out that everything revolved around sex. Everything. Eating, going to the bathroom, every fucking thing. And my life became a living hell. And I had to get rid of that bitch. You know what I mean? 6, 8 months, I was like, God, get me out of this. Hey, Eric. Thanks for stopping by, bro.
Hey, sorry about that. My phone was glitchy, but I wanted to just
No.
point out what your guest said before. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
she came from a rich background, and it never crossed his mind how much money she made. But once she found someone better, he was in the wind. It always is a true.
Yeah.
It's a true statement that men. doesn't matter what they bring to the table as far as salary goes. It just doesn't matter. That's not what we look for. And that's a lie that they've been sold. But it definitely matters. It matters what you bring to the table as far as salary and, you know, what you can give them and what they can extract from you as far as resources.
So here's,
Absolutely.
I got a,
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
I got a question, because this is something that has bugged me for my whole life. You know, I've always been, you know, the friend zone, the nice guy, you know, kind of like the beta simp, you know, until I met my ex-fiance. But one thing I've noticed is, like, every time I had sex with them, you know, the women would always cry afterwards and ask if I was going to leave them. Every time, every time, and I never understood why. And I always say no, but yet I'd always end up being the one getting left or cheated or, you know, used for free dinners or whatever.
Yeah, the food.
Yeah,
food.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it's a sympathy ploy. You know what I mean? It's a sympathy shit test, and you know they're emotional vampires. Okay, and this is how they operate. They actually feed on that energy of, oh no, I'm not going to leave you. I wouldn't do that. I'm not that kind of guy. And as the man is saying that, she's smiling inside.
That's right.
Giggling because she knows she has him.
She knows she has the hooks in him.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And it's sad because, like, you know, I'm sure every one of us has come from at least some form of blue pill coma where that has happened to us. I know I did.
Yeah, man.
But like,
well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Howard.
Well, we're talking about hypergamy, okay?
Yeah.
And that, you know, as soon as somebody, you know, with a better lifestyle comes around, with more options comes around, she's, you know, she's gone. And, you know, it's very similar when the man, you know, notices a more attractive woman. You know, like there's a woman with, you know, who looks better and now she's even got a nicer attitude. So the man's like, you know, what am I doing to myself genetically? Okay. She's probably asking herself the same question. When she's with a man, you know, that doesn't make as much money as another man that she could be with. She doesn't care about the man's character. She doesn't care about the past. She doesn't care about the future or the history. She just cares about that moment. Just like the man only cares about, you know, the big boobs and the nice hip to waist ratio and the nice smiles and giggling attitude.
Yep. I can tell you my ex, we started off making about the same money. And then she kept continuing her education, and she was up to about 184,000, and she made almost 100,000. Yeah, she made almost 100 grand more than me. So it at the end, I think she resented me, definitely.
Oh yeah, that must have been horrible.
Oh yeah, and because I was home with the kids, I practically raised my daughters, and she worked. I got injured, and I was retired.
Yeah. Amazing that she stayed. You know what I mean? You know, how long did she stay after she started making more money and you became injured? Because I'm going to bet it wasn't too long.
Actually, we lasted 21 and a half years before we got divorced. But the last 4 years were absolutely horrific. And that's when she was making. And that, as you said, that's when she was making her most. Yeah, that's exactly right. Like I've been with women who have promised undying loyalty to me and love and fealty, right? And then when I lost my job and she started making even just a little bit of money, she was gone within a week or two. Oh yeah, that happened to my friend got fired from the police department, and that within a month she was in an apartment and dating someone else. Thank God they didn't have kids, but you know, she was gone, and they were engaged.
Exactly. No, they'll leave even when they have kids in the house. You know what I mean? They'll leave their own kids.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I'll even tell you that recently my sister, she divorced her husband, and I actually really liked him. He was really a solid dude. He gave her her dream house in the suburbs, on a cop salary, and yeah. So it wasn't good enough. Like I'm talking, she lives first class, you know, Gucci everything, and it still wasn't good enough. Of course, she had my niece with him. She's about 3, 4 now, but yeah, no, they don't give a shit about the kids. They'll divorce because they know they're gonna get that child support and alimony.
Well,
And
it's when you're a cop and you're putting in all that time, like you start getting I resent you for not being around to help, and when you're here, you're not here. So like, yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
yeah, but I just never would have thought she would you know commit the sins of the mother. Like it's just I had hoped she would have chosen a different path, but no. Uh, and it's just like another thing that
But
red
but
pills me. It's like,
don't you understand though that path that she chose is that's not uncommon. That's she thinks she's being smart and being doing the right thing.
Yeah, an independent woman.
Yeah, that's what they do. Like you always hear, I'm not going to agree with no broke guy, or I need someone to give me attention. It's like currency for them. It's a drug. Attention is a drug. And if you're away from the family, you're away from the family. You're not giving them attention, and they're starved for it. They'll look for it somewhere else.
oh, but if I have a
Yeah, and
stack of cash in my hands, I get all the attention in the world.
True. But I'm going to jump out and give someone else a chance. But it was good talking to you guys. I just wanted to make that before. You guys
Good
take
talk
care.
to you too, brother. Yeah, you too, brother.
Take care. Thank you, bro. Yeah, this is female nature that we're talking about here. And the nasty thing is that when women abandon their roles as mothers, as mates, as decent, human beings that get along in the society and contribute something to the society, when they abandoned that role as the mother and the female and the caretaker, they didn't fill it. You know what I mean? They just left it blank. And now we're suffering, for this. And so the women want to be like men, and they go out and they act like men, and now there's nobody to, basically do what they were supposed to do. So now we're stuck. And now they're, projecting the male attitude, and China won't allow it. And China won't allow the men to project a female attitude. They won't allow it. And they're right to disallow it. And we are wrong to indulge it. And it was a natural progression, from where we started. And I remember, like second wave feminism, right? Or maybe it's actually third wave feminism, and thinking, wow, this is good, equality, egalitarianism. It's like, no, that's not what it was. It was unrestrained female sexuality. So now the women get to go around and sleep with anybody they want. They don't necessarily get pregnant. Shit, now they don't even have to be women. Now they don't have a monthly cycle. Now they don't have to deal with their emotion. Well, that's the whole thing. You know what I mean? They want the male physique and certain male mindset, but they don't want to deal with the problems, and they still bring their emotions to the problem. Like they talk about toxic masculinity. Masculinity isn't toxic. You want to know what's toxic? When testosterone amortizes into estrogen. That's when the men go crazy. When they become too feminine, when they become too emotional. That's when the men go crazy. And so we're getting the worst of both worlds.
I couldn't even find any masculine hope in the infantry, man. Like it's like a lost cause out here. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And the men in that situation feel isolated and alone, and they're not. And this is a form of gaslighting, okay? The idea that we, as banding together and trying to help each other and, saying, hey, these problems are fucking real, okay? That we're somehow out of line, that this is inappropriate. And then you try to bring the peer pressure and the group pressure to bear, to shame that behavior. And it's amazing because, that's exactly what they do, okay? They shut down this conversation, but they promote a transgender conversation. China shuts down a transgender conversation and promotes a somewhat traditional, ethical, value-based system. And I am not endorsing a tradcon system. I am saying that this is an ethical-based system, sustainable ethics that can move you forward, behavior, habits that can move you forward into the future, and you can have a better future than you had in your past, okay? I'm not asking for much, right? It's like, come on, we are the most intelligent species on the planet, okay? But no, we have to be dragged down into this emotional bullshit. This idea that, okay, everybody is free and a child gets to choose their own sex when they're not even fit to choose what they eat for dinner yet, okay? And you know that because they would choose to eat ice cream all the time. And some people do. And we get to deal with the medical effects of that. I'm sorry. I just got to talk every once in a while. Sacred why? What do you have to say to that? Sorry, bro.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head, brother. Yeah, it's, they bitch for what they want, but now they don't want what they got. It's
exactly. And they don't want to be women. Okay. They hate men and they want to be men, but they don't really want to be men because that's a real nightmare. You know what I mean? Yeah, of course you do. You know exactly what I mean.
Yeah, they want the glamour of the sacrificial lamb, but without the actual physical action of being the sacrificial lamb like men are, And men
exactly.
Are, if you want to really get down to it, are more important because we're the seeders of life. We're literally creators. We're such amazing, little space monkeys. We can create little objects with our hands. It's pretty amazing what human beings can do, especially intelligent, self-actualized human beings.
Oh, absolutely. And to add to your point, China is now offering male teachers more money and incentives to be teachers. Now, the women are portraying this as, a gender bias towards men. And the Chinese government is saying we need strong masculine men in the schools to teach the young men how to be men. And, to express this value of masculine virtue, right? As opposed to here in the West, where we're just denigrating it and ripping it to pieces all the time, as if it's fashionable, as if it's cute, as if it's what we just do. And it's garbage. And we've been conditioned to act like, oh, this is normal. This is just the new norm.
Absolutely. It's, it's fifth dimensional warfare, on a deep level of psychological and biological warfare. It's, well, again, like in your earlier videos, it's, you control the women, you make the women all, crazed and feared and, acting like a bunch of baboons. And then you got the man, and once you can control the man, you can control the tribe and can control society. It's, the good old Hegelian, cycles at work here,
Okay. You want to talk about Hegel? Okay. Because my belief is that nobody understood Hegel, not even Hegel understood Hegel. But yeah, I prefer Ayn Rand if we're going to talk about stuff like objective reality and stuff like that. I love a defense of capitalism and free trade and individual rights and those types of things.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Ayn Rand. You know,
Mhm,
her one of the title of her books, Atlas Shrugged. I mean, the title
mhm.
right there, I honestly gotta say she the title provided the solution. You know, if all the men of the world are the metaphorical
Exactly.
atlases, you know,
Indeed.
and society and
Mhm,
everything rests upon our shoulders, you know,
mhm,
then
mhm.
if we as a collective would just shrug our shoulders and just say, fuck this shit, I'm out, you know, pack up our shit and leave and let
Exactly.
the women deal with it, what would happen? You know, we'd evolve,
Yeah,
you know, it'd be
well, it
amazing.
would be the end of the world. It would be the end of the world. The planes would fall out of the sky. Millions would die.
It'd be the end of their world, but you know, for us, you know, we'd all be able to create our own new world, you know.
We hope
It's kind
so,
of
right?
like
You hope so.
right, yeah, we that's the I would say the end game hope
Do you
in that
do you
scenario.
remember the very ending of Atlas Shrugged? And I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but I really don't think I'm going to. The very
Yeah.
ending. Well, I'll tell you. Okay. They find the train where Eddie, who was the employee and the helper of the girl, the woman, and yeah, the message is don't let the fires go out. They become ready to restart civilization. So that that's basically what happens, right? Like you have to end it on a positive note. And speaking of a positive note, I have to end this one right here. Did I remind you guys to click on my Cash App, donation link? I do need the support at this time. There's no financial support here. Look, if you don't do it, I'm going to start like offering coffee mugs and T-shirts and shit like that say like Howard Dare on one side and MGTOW on the other. So don't make me do that. I don't want to do that. No, I'm just messing around, everybody. Uh, Sacred Y, do you have any thoughts before we close this one out?
Um yeah, I'm just gonna kind of sign out here, but I'm gonna leave it with, you know, this channel has definitely helped a lot, especially with you and all your hard work, what you do for us out here. It's, you know, we appreciate it. And, you know, this Atlas definitely has shrugged his shoulders. You know, I've definitely left all the guilt and the blue pill malaise behind. You know, it's MGTOW is definitely a very freeing once you get your biology under control. You know, it's very awesome how you can start to create your own life instead of living the life that they have created for you. So,
Well said. Well said. And I would say that that's really stage one of a man getting his life up and running. And you kind of need to divorce yourself from mainstream media because, as I said, the indoctrination is pervasive. Even if you hear it and see it and reject it, by virtue of the fact that you're exposed to it and you know that the other people endorse it, it has this effect on all of us. It changes what we consider to be normal. But I am going to leave it at that for now. So let me know what you guys think about this and other subjects. I'm going to try to do this on a regular basis, at least a few times a week, like at around 3 or 4 o'clock. Please come on here and talk to me about this stuff. And please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, everyone.
peace out.